for us as parents, here we are. What's the lesson in all this? Well, the lesson is to take advantage of these opportunities that can become highly emotional and start teaching our kids emotional intelligence. Start teaching them how to have big picture perspective. Start teaching them how to control their state in the moment.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
Hey guys, welcome back. Excited to be in the studio chatting with my hubby today. And gosh, what a full week it's been, huh, hon?
It's been a full week.
It's been a full one, that's for sure. We are in a end of the week of tryouts for sports and the beginning of sports for other kids. And on top of that, we have an art fair going on today for some kids too. So not a dull moment at our house starting up in the fall here.
So sports going. Practices started. Our schedule's all turned upside down again. Entrepreneurship happening, lessons being learned, celebrating birthdays.
All of it. I mean, literally all of it and then some.
It has been good. But I do have a question for you. Why shouldn't you tell secrets in a cornfield?
Because the corns have ears.
I wish this was on video. You see how Jackie just stuck her finger on her eyes, got so big because she got one right. There are too many ears all around. Yes, that's very good. Did you hear about the two rowboats that got into an argument?
They were playing tug of war.
It was an ordeal.
Oh, I was on a roll though.
That's funny. So nice job. Got one right.
Yeah.
It's on my 700th, I think. Dad joke. And you nailed it, though. Okay, what are we talking about today, hon?
What would you like to talk about today?
I thought we could talk about is let's just walk through real quick a little bit of the emotional ping pong of trying out for teams. Want to talk about what happened this week and how it went, how everybody handled it?
We had a good week. So our first three are trying out for high school girls golf team. And in the area that we live in, it's very competitive. And so it is really neat because last year, our first two, Abby and Bella, tried out and they did pretty good, but there wasn't as many girls trying out last year. And it was their first time really being on a golf team. So we learned a lot. I'll tell you that much. We as parents learned a lot about what the expectation was when you come in to try out at a high level competitive high school team, how to prepare and how to be ready for that. I mean, we weren't ready for it, I don't think, ourselves to prepare our kids.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's different. We play golf together, and but when we play as a family, it's one thing. Another thing, it's when you're out there and a coach is watching and other kids are playing, and everybody's watching every single shot you take, and you get that sweaty palm factor out there where you don't want to just totally mess up. And so they learned a bunch last year. They had to improve. They had to start learning how to not just only hit the ball well, but how to actually start learning how to score well. And that's a whole different part of the game. And they did pretty good. They were JV. That was the goal last year, was to be really, to improve. Now this year, here they got Chrissy coming on now too. And they're out there kind of going through it again, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, tryouts it's nerve-wracking. I feel like at any age it is. I mean, for all of us, even when we're applying for something, it's almost like a tryout, right? You want to be accepted. You want to get on, quote unquote, the team.
That's right.
And you want to do very well. And you want to not only make yourself proud, but you want to make your family proud and those that you love most. So, I mean, the girls came in better equipped this year, I definitely would say. They played more golf. They got some more tips. We got a little coaching for them. They definitely were in a better place coming into it than they were last year because we were brand new to the whole thing. But I will tell you, there were a lot more girls that tried out this year.
Yeah.
A lot more girls. And some girls played all summer.
Right.
Like, I think
Yeah, some of them live right there on the golf course,
they live on a golf course, and I
they
think
play
it's their
daily.
family sport. Like
Yeah.
that's what their family does, and they enjoy it, and they've been improving, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a sport that your family can enjoy together and grow together and have fun together and create memories together, I think it's the coolest thing in the world. So some of these girls that were coming back this year, they definitely improved even more. They were already pretty good last year, but they took on a whole new level this year too.
Yeah.
But then our girls came on, and I will just tell you, like, I was really, really proud of them. So tryouts started, it was twice this week. I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday, or Wednesday and Thursday. I can't remember off the top of my head. But the big girls were really good. They mentally were trying to prep themselves. They were trying to prep their younger sister, Chrissy. They were getting all their clubs kind of cleaned up and getting everything in the car and, making sure their shoes were ready and just like all the mental game that goes into it. Asked their dad a couple times to take them out to at least hit balls or, play or give them a few more tips here and there. They were kind of reviewing in their heads the things that they're strong at, the things that they, need to be aware of. And so I felt like they were ready to go in for tryouts and really, come ready. And so then they found out there were a whole bunch more girls trying out this year. And there's a new coach in town, which I'm really excited about it. Having a new coach in town is super exciting for our girls because the one they had last year was kind of just a dud. And so we were really excited to find out this new coach. She's a woman that actually played golf, I think all through high school, college, and still plays. Like she's a active player and very excited about being the golf coach. So I went to the meeting ahead of time, had a chance to meet her. She seems like a very strong, excited coach, like, just on it. She's like, we're going to be practicing. We're going to be trying hard. She's like, we're going to try different courses. We're not going to just settle. We're going to do our best. And she's like, there's quite a few girls trying out. So there's going to be a varsity, a JV, and then a fundamentals team. Mm-hmm. And you should have seen the girls that had been doing very, very well, they're just like, okay, that's cool. I know where I'm placing. And then some of the girls were looking around like, who's on the JV and who's on the fundamentals? You know what I mean? It was like...
Oh, wait, so we could get demoted?
Yes. And I'm kind of sitting there like, okay.
All right.
Like, here we go.
Yeah.
And I was really excited about it, though. Like, I think I came out of that meeting and I was already texting you, like, there are so many girls trying out. Like, the girls are going to improve this year. Mm-hmm. Like, they are going to go to a new level. And so the goal going into tryouts was, of course, let's do our best. Our best is enough, but our best is required. Yep. But when they first tried out for tryouts, before they heard this, where the team might be, they were like, we got varsity, done deal. Here we go. Like, varsity's where we're going to be, And then they got in the car and, they're kind of like, varsity's cool. I think varsity's cool, but varsity, JV's probably where it is,
Yeah, and it's good, because they go out there and they have to perform, and
yes,
it's interesting because on a couple episodes prior, I was teaching them champion mindset, and all that information is so good to teach your kids, but you gotta teach it, and then they gotta go live it, and then they gotta kind of mess it up, and they gotta adjust, then you gotta reteach it in order to be like, okay, but let's go through scenarios here, and. Like for instance, one thing was I think each of them had at least one hole the first day that they just had a blow up hole. They just for whatever reason had a really high score, and so they were bothered by that because of course that really affects your overall score. And if they would have had a normal hole instead of a blow up hole, it's significantly different. And so trying to teach the kids that listen, okay, so what are you going to think about tonight when you go to bed? You got tryouts again tomorrow. And what are you going to think about? Because if your brain is going to naturally keep going to that blow-up hole, you're going to naturally keep replaying this thing, and you're going to have to learn. This is part of emotional intelligence. You have to resist it. Like you have to resist your brain going towards the thing you didn't do well and replaying it over and over again, because now all you're doing is building up a storehouse of fear for tomorrow. You're building up this anxiety. You're starting to paint a picture that you're probably going to have another one or two or three or four. You remember it with a lot of emotion, which then pushes it more into your subconscious. And then whatever you think about the most is what you're going to get more of. And I said, so you're gonna have to resist this now. And I kept pushing him, like, tell me about your best hole. What was your best hole? Tell me about your best hits. What were your best hits? You know, tell me about your best chip. What was your best putt? And then I trying to get him to think about it and get him to be in the moment of it emotionally. And I said, see, this is what you keep going to. Every time that blow up hole comes in, you just have to literally shake it off quickly and be like, no, that's not how I play. How I actually play is, and start thinking about the right thing. You know what I mean?
Right. And just to back up for a minute with that whole thing, I mean, that kind of started when they first got on the course, right? So I was so proud of them because, first of all, all three of them went in, you know, as confident as could be, but they realized, like you said, today's tryout was going to be harder than they realized, you know? And I'm actually thankful that the first day was that way because they were kind of texting us like, hey, I just got a whatever blow up hole here. This hole didn't work out like I wanted. Oh, you know, and each of them we were on like a text thread with all of us.
Yeah.
But to give them that opportunity, even in those moments, to be able to speak confidence over our kids and truth of who they are and what they're doing, because it's just a quick one-liner that we're sending them, right? And to know that they can trust us to speak goodness into them, to speak truth into them is so important because all that pre-prepping was starting to kind of go out the window as their emotions started to take over.
Yeah.
And so to remind them with some quick one-liner encouragements that were impactful kind of got them back on track. And, you know, I will just tell you when I picked up the girls, I mean, they were pretty spent that night. I picked them up. I mean, we had, you know, some kids got in the car and they were tired and started crying and, you know, not in a bad way, but in a way of, I know I could have done better and it didn't work out like I thought in my brain.
Yeah.
And, you know, being able to, again, encourage them and love on them. One thing I will tell you is that I'm so proud of our sweet Bella. I will tell you, parents, if you are pouring into each of your kids, they each have different personalities and different strengths and different opportunities to help their siblings in ways that you don't always know it's going to happen until you need it to. And man, she was shining the last 2 days of tryouts because it's not like her score was much better than anybody else's, but her encouragement and logical way of thinking was so much more on point than her sister's was.
Yeah.
You know, she really has taken some of the logical side of how to mentally get yourself back on track to a different level
it's
right
that
now.
peaceful, phlegmatic personality where you don't get the high highs and the low lows. And, you know, and we always encourage the kids to use their personalities and to use their gifts, but to live in the strengths of them. And so here Bella she was living the strengths of hers for sure, where she was having that even-keeled nature and letting everybody know, like, hey, it's going to be all right. It's not a big deal. We're not going to see this as a major low. We're just going to see it as, you know, a stepping through point. We're going to be fine.
And she was logically thinking through, like, okay, if you score on this tomorrow, we could prove this to the coach on this. If these people who were not doing very well either, like, logically don't do the same tomorrow very well, we've already upped our game in this. Like, she was just, and literally by the time we got home, both her siblings were just like, okay, tomorrow's tomorrow. We got this. And then you just add your point where you're like, let's focus on the good, you know, plays that you guys had, not the ones. I don't want you going to bed thinking about the ones that you did wrong. I want you to go to bed remembering all the good holes, all the good strokes, you know. Gosh, I feel like that night, because it was 2 days of tryouts, you know, that night it could have went really downhill real quick. You know, we could have easily had our kids where they went to bed feeling, you know, they're not even going to make the team. This is a horrible I don't even know why I did this. You know, gosh, I stink. Like, all the things that we all feel when we're not, like, feeling confident on what we're trying to accomplish. But they went to bed knowing, okay, I'm going to get up tomorrow and do my best again. And my best is enough, you know, but I'm really going to try my best tomorrow. And I feel like because of that, they really did go in more confident the second day of tryouts than the first, even though they had a loss the day before.
Right, for sure. And they did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then day 2, they actually played really well. And I was super proud of them for that. And, you know, so now it's just we'll find out next week, and it's going to be good. Like, they're going to be fine. And I'm proud of them. But it's, again, for us as parents, you know, here we are. What's the lesson in all this? Well, the lesson is to take advantage of these opportunities that can become highly emotional and start teaching our kids emotional intelligence. Start teaching them how to have big picture perspective. Start teaching them how to control their state in the moments, right? And that's kind of where we're at right now with this. And we're going to have the whole season to really do it. And it's just going to benefit them like crazy. So maybe next episode we can talk a little bit more specifically about how you and I have learned to control our emotional states, what emotional intelligence means for us, and what we keep pouring into our kids. Sound good?
Good.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.